Hi everyone, so here's Moonlight Soul and Adrian Gibson from Just Green Astrology, and this is our final recording for 2024, and we're going to be talking about the final lunation for 2024. We actually started the 2024 with New Moon in Capricorn. So, hello Adrian, nice to
Hello,
see you
Mila.
again.
Thank you. Nice to see you too. Yep, this whole Capricorn energy.
Absolutely, Capricorn is upon us, being in the Capricorn
Capricorn.
season.
Yeah, yep, yep. My birthday will finish it out.
There you go. Yeah, that will be the good punctuation mark. Like we re-entering, we enter into 2025 with Capricorn new moon energy. And yeah, we will see what the 2025 holds in store for us because we will not see the end of this cycle until 2026 with the new moon in Capricorn 2026.
2026. There we go. Awesome. All right.
So we have a lot to talk about. That this is
We
a busy
do.
chart.
It is a busy chart. It's all over the place, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, it's
I, I was looking at it and I was kind of giggling because when we were doing our report in February, end of January last year, the beginning of February, all of the planets were all stuck together in Aries. Remember that? And now they're just spread all the way around.
Yeah, because we becoming more multidimensional. We had to go through 2024 to open up our consciousness with Jupiter retrograde, and now it's like, okay, now you rock and rolling. Because actually, with this new moon in Capricorn, Chiron is already direct. Chiron is stationing direct
Chiron is
tomorrow.
direct. Yep.
So yeah, so now we're ready to go beyond our wounds.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. And it's been rough trying to deal with them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially this holiday season, it brings a lot of things out of us, a lot of
Yeah,
shadows.
yeah. It's interesting just as Chiron goes direct, all that stuff starts coming up. So just to look at it so we can move on beyond it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, because Chiron is stationing exactly still on 19 degrees, which is the degree of the eclipse from April. There is eclipse. So
Ah,
Chiron has been holding on to this 19 degree for dear life and is reactivating the energy of the Aries eclipse from April. So this is what's really
ah,
pushing us in this new direction of self-discovery and just being brave to show up and just go for it.
yes. Yep. Just throw yourself out there. I like to call it throwing yourself off the train, jumping off the train.
Cool. All right, let's look at
Right.
this chart, this
All right.
crazy
I'm
chart.
bringing it up. It is. Let's see. There it is. Can you see it?
Yep, yep.
All right.
Perfect. Here it is.
Here it is.
All right, where shall we start?
Where shall we start? Well, uh-oh. What happened?
Not sure.
Sorry. There. It's back again on Mercury's not retrograde, so I can't blame it on that. But I
It's
didn't touch
okay.
it.
Mercury is still in opposition with Jupiter, and Jupiter is
Well,
retrograde, and Jupiter
there you
rules
go.
Mercury. So
Which
we
makes
find the
Mercury,
reason.
it makes Mercury act retrograde. Yep.
Exactly. So,
Yeah. Well, I think that the first thing that I noticed when I looked at this chart was that the lunation was squaring the nodes, and I thought that was very interesting.
yeah, it was exactly the same in January when we had the new moon in Capricorn number one. But at that
Yep.
time, Venus was in Sag, and now Venus is in Aquarius. And since then, Venus had two conjunctions with Pluto, not just one, two. So,
Right.
yeah, this is different Venus altogether.
Yes. Yeah, it is. We're breaking free from that. But what I thought was interesting was that when the nodes moved into Aries and Libra at the 29-degree mark,
Hmm.
Pluto was at 29 degrees Capricorn squaring the nodes.
Hmm.
And so we've gone all the way around. They've squared the nodes a few times, and now we have this sun and moon squaring the nodes in Capricorn. And I think that's interesting at the end of the Capricorn cycle, almost as if, we've done the work through Pluto at the last degree. We've done the Capricorn work, and now we're starting a brand new cycle of, being the makers of our own reality. as the nodes leave. There's only one more degree for the nodes to move, which I think happens like on New Year's Day. They move to zero
Yeah, it's possible. I know that they're moving into Virgo Pisces on the 11th, which is
on the
exactly
11th.
the
Yeah,
day we had the new moon in Capricorn this year, 2024. But yeah, it's interesting because, like you pointed out, the nodes, where the Pluto was squaring the nodes in July 2023 when the nodes shifted into Libra and Aries, which was right after the new moon in Cancer. And it's interesting because this is the last lunation with the nodes in Libra and Aries. The next one, which is the full moon in Cancer, obviously the full moon after that full moon, which was the full moon of the when they shifted last year. This is the last lunation. So that was like the last lunation with nodes in Taurus, Scorpio. Then we had the new moon in Cancer. Then we had the nodes shifting. Pluto was squaring the nodes, pointing to the south node, first in Scorpio, then in Libra, and now we have the moon itself squaring the nodes. And this is the last time the nodes are in Aries and Libra.
yep. I think it's all very interesting. Yeah, so it feels to me like we've jumped through some hoops and now we're starting something new just before the nodes shift, where we'll start, you know, doing Pisces Virgo energy.
Yeah, we know exactly what that something is. It's like this entire time, and especially because we are talking about Cancer, and that's where Mars is retrograding into on January 6th, right before the nodal shift. And
That's
Mars
right.
was actually in Virgo when the nodes when he became the rule of the North Node in Aries. Mars was in Virgo in July 2023. But what we really going to be working on throughout 2025 is detaching ourselves from this old identity that was built on these perceptions of the external world, like
Yes.
what we thought, believed about ourselves, about world, about life. It was coming from the outside. We thought that our reality was created by the outside influences, whether it's people, circumstances, situations and stuff, but it's actually the opposite. So this is what
Yeah.
I feel, that this 2025 is about us healing these patterns, like deprogramming and deconditioning ourselves from these patterns that created this fragmentation of the soul that made us feel separate, mostly from ourselves and then from
Yes.
one another. And yeah, and this is then preparation for the big reset in 2026.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I've been thinking that too, that, it's almost like we became aware of this pattern where we have attached ourselves to everything that's happening outside. That's how we've been seeing ourselves, South Node and Libra, right?
Hmm.
Through, what our parents had told us and, what our teachers told us and our jobs and our partners and just all of this energy instead of coming from inside ourselves and seeing ourselves from the inside. And that to me is the North Node in Aries. And so now we're getting ready to experience that for 2025.
Yeah, and especially with Mars moving back into Cancer, we will feel it very deeply. And the
Yes.
nodes, North Node being in Pisces, all the flooding. So all of this that we can see on the chart is a preparation for that. And also, like you and I were discussing, is the seeding of what do you want to manifest for 2026? Because the
Yes.
cycle will end with the new moon in Capricorn on January 18, 2026, which is a double 10 frequency. So it's a double reset, January
Oh,
18th,
wow.
2026.
Interesting. Day before my birthday.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
this is why it's very important for us to set the intentions for what we do want, not what we don't want, because this is a very potent manifesting energy.
Yes. Yeah. And I guess the next thing that I find very interesting is we're getting closer. I think it's tomorrow. Well, because we're recording this a couple days before the lunation,
Mhm.
but I do believe that well, maybe
What is it?
it's the day after. No, it's New Year's Day, I think, that Mars will be at 1 degree, Leo, the exact opposition again.
The exact opposition is on the third.
It's on the third
Mhm.
between Leo and I mean between Mars and Pluto.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me check. Oh, I actually have it here, the exact degree on the third. Yeah, 1 degree, 8 minutes, which is good,
Yeah.
interesting because it's number 9, and that's the year we're entering into. Yeah, January 1st is the second exact opposition between Mars retrograde and Pluto. The first
Yeah.
one between Leo and Aquarius, 1 degree, 8 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought I saw. Well, I think that's interesting, this opposition. We've went all the way into Leo and now we're coming back. We're having to redo, look at our past actions and redo, make a change. And then Mars is getting ready to go all the way back in. I think it goes into 17 degrees Cancer. So,
Well, these kind of information, I need to check my notes because I don't
oh,
keep all this in my head.
no, I mean,
Yes,
the only reason it's in my head is because I've just recently been looking.
yeah, 17 degrees and 1 minute. Yeah, it's going
Yeah,
to
because
station
I
direct.
have my natal Mars retrograde in Cancer, and I was like, "Oh, is it coming back?" But it's not.
That's the same reason I was checking how far Venus is gonna go because I have my Venus in Aries on 6 degrees, and I'm like, how many times is she going to conjunct my Venus? And it's 3 times Venus, and so I know what you mean because I'm like, shit, man, like how many times am I going to get Venus return in
Yeah,
2025?
right. Well, I'm having definitely on my progress chart having another Mars return, so
Yeah, so
that will happen.
Mars is definitely making us to go inwards and reevaluate our true sense of authenticity and purpose, and whether these identities that we thought we were, it's really who we are or who we are becoming.
True, true. Yeah. And I think it's interesting because Mars is sitting right on Pluto's opposition point. So it's
Yeah,
conjunct,
the
helping that
polarity.
along. And that's the direction that we want to go. For this next 20 years, we're going to be heading toward Leo. That will be, which is our, coming from our heart, coming from being authentic and open.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because we've had all of this Capricorn energy, which is about self-discipline and being responsible for our own reality and our emotional fields and all of that. And it's interesting because as the opposition point is in Leo, where we're wanting our heart to be open, we're going to have to be able to deal with emotions that are coming through from the heart. So
And
that should be,
that's the North Node in Pisces, exactly that. Because yes, like we were saying last time, that when we put the walls around ourselves, nothing can come in, but nothing can come out either. So all the pain and hurt and trauma and everything that we were born into, because it's not like I created it when I was a baby, but we were born into, and then further on onto that new layers were being put. Anyway, so for all of this to come out, the heart has to be cracked open, which is this Chiron energy we've got going on at the moment on this degree of the eclipse from
yes,
April. And yeah, and this is literally it. It's like we need to allow to feel whatever we need to feel in order for this pus or whatever to come out, for the things to be cleaned, and to allow this like a new blood, like a fresh blood to come into our heart.
yes,
Yeah.
yep,
So that will be the North Node in Pisces, the flood, the emotional flood that we'll be experiencing. And some people are already experiencing, people who are tapped in and very sensitive to the energies. We're already
yep.
going through this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, Neptune's close enough to the North Node that I think that we are experiencing some flooding
Hmm.
in general
Yeah.
to
And that's
culminate the Aries cycle.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's also the square, the Jupiter Saturn and the Mercury Jupiter opposition that we've had going on, and also Mercury to Saturn. There is a T square between Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn. And this
yes,
is again pointing us towards this, like the old structure of the structure of the reality we see manifested in our experience, and at the moment that we think that this is it, this is all there is, right, was built on these old stories and old perceptions. And with this Mercury closing to Saturn, this is what we need to liberate ourselves from, is the crisis in consciousness. And
yes,
Jupiter being in a new square, the first quarter square to Saturn, we need to take an action on consciously taking a choice to, just like you and I were discussing prior to recording, override the program. We need to override
Yes.
the program. We cannot just keep, in a sense, expecting different reality to be built on the same program. It is not going to happen. It's not possible. So, so this is like where we have to take the choice, make the choice consciously, and catch ourselves every time that we get triggered, every
Yes.
time that the same gets recreated, or we are experiencing the same thoughts, emotions, because the emotions are just indicating to us that what it is that is going on in the subconscious or conscious mind. And we can choose differently. We can choose to consciously override the program, and this takes discipline, because it's not going to change tomorrow. It takes discipline because the default is very strong. This has been in operation for thousands of years, and it's
Yes.
easy to just give up and say like, oh, I can't do it. But
Yes.
there is no other way to have a different life, to create different life on this planet. It has to be through the new consciousness, through a new level of consciousness that was the old one, through which
Yes.
this reality was created.
Yes. And it's also about, shifting what our belief system is. What is true? What, what have we been following? What are the stories we've been telling ourselves? And are they really true? And locating that in ourselves and then choosing to believe differently, come from our own belief systems.
And that's the thing, because like there is no such a thing, like, unless it's a universal law, there is no such a thing as truth, right? So
Right?
it's not even important what is truth. That is a little irrelevant. It's like, what do you want it to be your truth? What is your
Exactly.
preference? So
That's
this
what I
is
mean.
again where people have to make the choice. This for me, this entire year was about choice, because we, through the experiences we've had, it became conscious to us, okay, based on all the choices we made previously, and it's 1 2 3 4 on my computer right now, 12:34 in my time as I'm saying this. So based on everything that we decided previously, whether this lifetime, past lifetime, ancestors, all the rest of it, this is what manifested. So I have to make a different choice if I want something else to manifest it. And this is where also we have to become aware, of who we really are, which is what this Mars retrograde moving back into Cancer is going to help us to feel into, tap into, of who we really are, and that we are really a divine being having a human experience with the unlimited potential of the universe to be waiting to be manifested and stuff. So if all of this is embodied and we use it consciously, practice it on daily basis to override the program that currently is running in our subconscious, creating this reality that most of us do not wish to be recreating and experiencing 10 20 50 years from now. It takes effort, and it takes determination, and it takes self-trust and diligence and believing in yourself, because if you
Yes.
don't believe in yourself, nobody else will believe in you.
Yes. True. It is believing in yourself and trusting in yourself. Actually, was writing that in my report today. I mean, that's where it is, and it's not listening to what's coming from outside of yourself, but really focusing on what it is that you want to manifest and what's coming from within you. Because,
Hmm.
we're going to be coming from our hearts for this. We're learning how to do that, and yeah, we in order to do that, you have to be able to trust that what you're feeling and what is coming from the heart is the reality for you.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's the authentic expression that is going to be different to different people. And that's why another important thing is to stop comparing ourselves to someone else, because somebody else's path is different from yours.
Yes, we all have a different path and a different purpose, but I think that I think that part of this 2025 is learning this energy of coming from the heart, because this is not what we've been doing on the earth plane. Most of us don't live that way. We're still guided from outside, but it's like the training ground for us to be able to practice listening to our intuition, practice coming from the heart, practice staying open.
That's the South Node in Virgo, North Node in Pisces. Practice listening to your intuition.
Coming.
Literally, like South Node in Virgo. We need to put into practice what we learn, discern, step by step process. Keep,
Yep.
repeat, like do it, keep repeating, the pattern. And then yeah, what you're trying to strive for is like, hello, higher self, I'm trying to reconnect, dial me in.
That's it. That's going to be the next year and a half for us. This
Yeah.
whole until 2026, and then the movie really shifts.
Yeah, then we go ahead with all the masculine energies like, are you ready? Ready or not? We going. Yeah, it's just fascinating. I mean, like we say 2026 summer because of the nodal shift, but it's really happening from the beginning of 2026 because Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, they all move in like January, February, March. They all shifting
Yep.
in a early on in 2026.
Yep.
I don't remember exactly where Chiron is shifting. I think that's late spring, beginning of summer 2026. But either way, yes, by the time the node shift, everybody has moved already. But yeah, so it's really just 2025. It's no
Yeah.
pressure. We only have a year.
Yeah. Well, it's going to move along quickly. I don't know if you've noticed, but things seem to be moving pretty quickly right now. It's
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
whoo, this
It's
last couple of weeks of December have gone by so fast that I can't even breathe.
Oh my God, I can't wait for Christmas to be over. Like, not the fun. So January roll on. Like,
Right?
yeah. But anyway, yeah, this entire 2024 just gone in a blink of an eye. The longest month was the Scorpio month for me, always
Yeah.
Scorpio month. But everything apart from that just gone really quickly. So we can see how the time definitely is on 1.5 speed accelerating, and it will be even more so once Uranus moves into Gemini. And yeah,
Yep.
it's this square between Venus and Uranus, this mutual reception that going on at the moment. That's interesting too, right?
I was just about to bring that up. Yep. In fact, as we're recording it, it's exact
Yeah, yeah. Today, yeah, Saturday when we're
today,
recording. Yeah.
right? So yeah, it's like helping us to break apart the old patterns of what we value and how we value ourselves and our self-esteem. Because if we don't have that, we're not going to be able to do any of the other things.
Mm. Yeah, because the foundation has to be. And this is interesting thing that actually recently in one of the channels I was listening to from Lee Harris, they said that for this energy to I'm going to butcher it because I didn't write it down and I can't quote it
Okay.
exact, but they said something about that there is going to be chaos and destruction because for form to change first it needs to like be broken apart. So
Yes.
we want this new to come and we think it's just going to be like da 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 da. We just switch one model for another, but the energy cannot be destroyed. So in order for the energy to change the form, it first has to like
Has to break apart and
exactly.
dissolve back
So
into the background
so
so
that's
that,
what Uranus in Taurus is doing. It is
yes.
cracking the foundation of our reality. And for people who already experience the Uranus opposition, it's not always a nice process. So it is quite chaotic in many cases, and this is why this internal foundation has to be strong. And this is why even through our everyday life and our personal experiences, we are being challenged to create this sense of resiliency and stronger foundation in ourselves. And Venus is the rule of the south node that's squared by this moon, and being in Aquarius on the final decan, which is the Libra decan, it's all about neutralization. Is exactly what I was saying to you, that's been coming through me to me from the spirit, which is not a new thing, that we need to learn to master the thoughts and emotions. So the external environment no longer holds the power over our reality. And the way we do
Mhm.
it is through the neutralization, like to be able to override the program by visioning the opposite and extract the emotion so we can neutralize that which is being projected onto us from the external, and the neutralization takes you back to 0 point, and that's the blank slate. From that you
Yes.
can create whatever you
Create
want.
whatever you want. Yes.
So that's why this Venus square to Uranus, and Venus being the rule of the south node, resolution node, in being squared by the moon, this is how you become the conscious creator of your reality. And the moon is on number 9 degrees, which is the year 9. This is what we will be learning
This is
throughout
what we'll be
2025.
learning. So
Yeah.
it's beginning in this year, but it's just opening up this year to fulfill itself during this whole next year.
Yeah, that's why, like, we've been saying it since like eclipses, that already since like February, we already were, not February, October, we were already in a frequency of 2025, slowly but surely moving towards it.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's really interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I didn't even notice that it was the 9 number. That's great.
Yeah, nine. Then that's in the degree theory, nine is Sagittarius. Why is all of this happening? Because of the expansion of consciousness. We were never being, nobody, like, especially maybe in the old days, like hundreds of years ago, before Pluto was discovered, probably even before Uranus was discovered. But now, at this time and age, none of us that is alive was born just to sit and chill and just to do nothing and just to relax and don't worry. Like, no, this is part of the life, but we all came here to grow and evolve. And we know from the diamond and from the pearl and from all these precious things that you're not going to become a diamond unless there is some pressure and some serious grit going on there. Like, you're not just going to become diamond just by looking at the piece of coal or something, right? So that's what I
Takes
mean.
some
So
work.
we are all being how do you say when they make the diamonds, like polished, not polished before they even polish them, when they make from the rough thing the nice thing.
You
That's what's
mean the
happening.
cut, like being cut and faceted?
Yeah. That's what's happening to us right now. Yeah, we're going from
Yeah.
the raw to this precious diamond, and the process is not so comfortable
No.
necessarily, but that's exactly what we're going through right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see what else is there going on. Yeah, we've got that fire trine happening, and I was trying to see. I think the other thing is an out of sign air trine. Is that what it is? Yeah, because it's an interesting thing because the grand trine between South Node, Pluto, and Neptune is an out of sign air trine. However, the Uranus that's in Taurus, it's an air sign by itself. So, it's kind of it represents, it's the ruler of Aquarius. So,
So
it's
Uranus, Pluto, and the South Node, the out of
yes, yes.
sign, air sign. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and this is like, it's still common denominator is Venus, because Uranus
Common
is the ruler of
denominator is
Venus.
Venus.
Yeah, so it's still taking us back to this square between Venus and Uranus and square between Moon and the South Node. It's all pointing us towards the same thing, which is this necessity to liberate from the external to influence our reality, because Capricorn is the manifestation of the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Cancer in opposition, that's why it needs to be balanced, the emotions, because it becomes the form. This is how the manifestation works. It's whatever you're thinking, whatever you believe in, and whatever you're feeling, that's what you manifest. So this is why it always takes us back to this Venus, and as a ruler of Taurus and as a ruler of Libra, which share in conjunction. You don't look out to the world to define you. The world is a mirror, it's a reflection,
Right.
but the world is not there to define you. You already are perfect, you're born perfect. Even this concept that my friend brought to my attention, that we keep talking about, I need to heal myself, like, this is literally, borrowing what my friend said, so I'm not taking an ownership of this. She said we are not being born dysfunctional. It's not like we are like, like we are like some, like what was the word that she said, that, like, it's not like something is wrong with us, like we faulty, but we were born into bodies that carry imprint of the past through genetics, the
Yes.
program and stuff. So what we really healing is the program and the emotions that are stuck in time, but we're not healing ourselves, because you are divine, you are perfect.
Yeah.
Your real I am, not your labels, not your ego identities. Your real I am doesn't need healing. Like, we are not
Yeah.
faulty, but our I am incarnated into certain avatar that holds a lot of things that are from the past that needs healing, but it's a
Yes.
change of the pattern. So this is really what's going on here. So it's even when we experience, all these triggers and emotions, and we overcome with all of this, it's important not to attach to them. You are not your emotion, you are not your thought, you are the conduit, you are the tool, you are the body through which this needs to run through to be transmuted.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Defected, that's the word she used. We are not born defected.
No, we're
We are
not.
perfect.
Yeah.
Defect, yeah. So
But we
yes,
do have, yeah, yeah, I like how you said that about how our bodies, our DNA is carrying wounds from past times that need to be, but it's in our
cancer.
bodies, not our soul.
No, well, the soul has the imprint from the past lifetimes, obviously. Like, the soul excavates, it extracts
Mhm.
from each incarnation the experience, right? So that is the growth, that is the evolution, but it doesn't, because this is like, again, I'm in a physical form, so I can't say that this is 100% the truth. This is how I understand what I heard, that when we are in a spirit form, when we back in our vast soul sense, we don't have a brain and thoughts and emotions. Like we are all knowing, all everything. It's like very different. That's why, like when we listen to channels, um, like, yeah, the spirit gives you an advice and stuff, but they are not in a physical form. You still have to discern, run it through your body. What is the response? Is this making me sick? Listening to this, that I should go and sell my house and move countries or something, like, oh, maybe it's not the right time just yet. So this is where you have to use your discernment and don't give your power even to the spirit, because the spirit sees things from a very different perspective that is
Oh, yeah.
not embodied. So it all has to be in alignment. So that's the thing, like, yes, from the spirit perspective, we have the experience of the past, but the body carries these things that are earthbound, and that's what we came here to do. We came here to help the planet Earth, right?
Yes, I
We are
think
the
that's
Earth
why I
warriors.
came.
Yes.
Yeah. I was listening to Pam Gregory today, earlier this morning, and she was talking about how the timelines are shifting. Like you can shift to choose the timeline that you're
Hmm.
wanting because they're beginning to separate. And she was talking about like all the types of things that are happening for the future. Like she was talking about Earth, like new lands rising up out of the ocean. And it's interesting because I read a book several years ago that was talking about during these times that there would be new stores of minerals and things that would become available for this time period. So it's just interesting to hear her say that
Yeah, it's very
today.
interesting. And she always keeps talking about, like the what we know of the universe, like with regards to planets and stars and stuff, is very limited. Like I know that Pam Gregory, especially, she's very excited about the new discovered planets and asteroids and stuff. So this is the future, is this constant wanting to know more and stuff. And that's why, like, again, like in many cases, we are made to feel bad or guilty when we want more. But actually, once we actually accept that we are never done, the universe will always wants to grow and expand, source, whatever you call it, God, doesn't matter what's the label. And we accept that while I'm in a physical form and I'm operating through this avatar of a human, I will always want to do more, explore more, because this is like the source want to explore more, expand more. And our oversoul and our soul and stuff operates as an extension of the source, and then it lands onto your shoulders over here, and then you have a desire. So us
Yep,
beating ourselves up about that, oh my God, I want this next thing and next thing, it's not about stopping yourself from wanting, but accepting that, oh yeah, it's about the journey, it's not about the destination, because you're never done. So
right.
this is also part of the reprogramming, I feel, because many of us, especially if you were conditioned by a religion, we were made to feel guilty for having needs and
Yeah,
desires.
interesting.
But then
Yes.
when you stop, when you start suppressing these needs, it's kind of like you are denying yourself your birthright as a source, extension of the source that wants to expand. So
Yes. And grow. Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting.
This
Very
is all interesting. I'm like, I am so excited about all these charts because, step by step, but we get in there.
step by step, but we're getting there. And we're not skipping any steps, it's
Oh
all
no.
very, very ordered the way it's happening.
I
So
am becoming very well trained in this, especially in the last week, because the universe is literally it sees everything, because it's like I know Joe Dispenza talks about this all the time. You don't get what you want. You get what you in like vibration match to. You attract who you are, not what you want. Because it's always about the frequency alignment. Because this universe operates like it's all this like a frequency and what is the other thing, a vibration, right? Like it's all this Aquarian stuff, and we are energetic being, we respond to energy. So it doesn't matter what we say, or it doesn't matter what we try to convince someone of, or it doesn't matter like how we try to pretend to be someone or something, because the universe doesn't care about any of these things. The universe doesn't listen to our words or looks at us, our perfect physique, whether you have makeup or not. Universe responds to our frequency. So yes, there are no skip steps and there are no shortcuts, because our emotions, our thoughts and stuff influence our frequency, and that's what universe is responding to. So unless we master our thoughts and our emotions, we will not get a different outcome. So we go
yes,
back to the same thing. And that
yes,
takes you back to Taurus. Do you trust yourself? Do you feel worthy of having a different experience? And if not, why? And if
yeah,
if the why is some story, where did it come from? Doesn't matter if it's true or not. The question is this the story that you wish to keep recreating or not?
right, right.
And this
Yeah,
is where you
no,
become a conscious creator of your reality. You take
yes.
responsibility for everything.
Yeah, I'm done recreating the past. That's over. I hope.
No, you hope. You are the creator. You say it's over. That's it.
Yeah, well,
We don't hope.
it's taken me a long time to like manifest something different.
Yeah, because especially with the 29 degrees sun in Capricorn, you carrying this everything that happened before, that you now came here to um, turn the form into different form.
Yes. Yeah.
Is the Virgo deacon of Capricorn. So that is about through life, through living and having the experience. Now you have enough to put it into practice to change the form into different form.
Which is so cool because that's what my Pluto North Node in Virgo is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's everything is aligning. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I am so grateful for all these people that are ahead of us a little bit in a linear way, especially teachings of people like Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've been binging, and I'm very transparent about my stuff. I've been binging on Dr. Joe Dispenza
Have
teachings.
you?
It's been so helpful. And Abraham Hicks as well, like things that's been around for a long time, but they're really starting to click now because people are ready to consciously
Yes.
understand what these people that are pioneers have been talking about all this time. But
Yeah.
we weren't, and that's why there is like even we know with this Virgo Pisces thing that we will be experiencing, especially in 2025, a lot of guilt and shame coming up, and sense that oh, I'm behind, judging ourselves, comparing ourselves. But no, the soul is ready when it's ready, and whenever you were not ready, you had to have experience, you had to have to accumulate whatever you needed for now.
Absolutely. You can't have wisdom about it until you've experienced it. So we've had to go through everything that we've gone through. Yeah. So this self-compassion
Hmm.
that is going to be coming through this next time. Yeah, we've all been through shit.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And then that allows us to have compassion for ourselves and then just by default, compassion for other people that are going through other things, you know. It's like that Virgo archetype can be judgment, but it doesn't have to be. It can be discernment,
Yeah, it's like
discerning what
it makes you human. And that's
it
what
makes
Virgo
you
really is
human.
about. It's the human's journey, the hero's journey. It just makes
Yes.
you human. It's not nothing other than it makes you human. Every time you look at someone and perceive an imperfection, it makes them human. It doesn't change the perfection of their soul. It just makes them human.
Yeah. So we've all come to experience some facet of life, and life can be messy. Life is something.
especially
I don't even have a word to describe it.
especially at this stage when we birth in this new, like this is the conception of the new form. So that's why you have to be very intentional with this moon, Capricorn new moon, because you see it in your future manifestations.
Mm, yeah. So it's not this new moon is not quite in the Taurian decan.
No,
It's
it's still
still in
Capricorn, which is
still
important.
Capricorn, the last degree of it.
And this is the nine, which is the Jupiter house, and the year number nine. And this is all that is helping us to expand our consciousness through the choices that we will be presented with. But Jupiter is still retrograde, so it's the inside out process. You have to make the choice from your heart, not from your mind.
Yep, that's it.
And that's,
And
yeah. Is it? No, it's still Aries decan for Mercury. I thought it was Leo already, but Mars is on Leo decan, which is good.
yes. But yeah, it is all coming through from the heart. And the
Mm.
heart, that's where spirit speaks to us from internally.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because it's interesting, because another friend of mine, she was just saying that she recently had the channeling, and she was saying to the spirit that I can't wrap my head around it. And they said, you're not supposed to, you're supposed to wrap your heart around it.
well, that's it.
You're
That's
not
it.
supposed to wrap your head around it, because the head is the ego, is the logical mind, is the archive of the past. You don't want to be recreating that. It's just a contrast and information gathering.
Yes. It's like we have two minds. We have the brain that holds the chronological order of things,
Mm.
figuring and all of that. And then we have the heart that's open, and the heart knows.
The higher mind.
You can feel it.
The higher mind and the higher heart.
Higher mind and the higher heart. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just blissed out every time I'm looking at these new charts after Pluto moved into Aquarius, the such new moon, the Gemini full moon, and every next chart I'm just blissed out, because I'm like, we already there, we already in the future, and I love it. It's great.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna be looking at the world outside of me and think that this is all there is. I know there is much more. So we don't allow the past, the manifestation of the past, to determine our future no more.
No, no. Um, yeah, I was just saying that I think part of what I'm going to do for this next year is spend as little time online, except for like this and my meetings that I have and readings that I'm doing. But I'm going to try to stay off of the social media. Oh my goodness. It's a time sucker.
Oh.
And there's a lot of energy, external energy that just reverberates inside of me, and
You see,
I
that's
can do
also the
without
thing.
that.
Like, internet actually is an amazing thing, because it's allow for this massive like acceleration of our expansion and awakening. But
Yes.
it's like everything, when you give a tool to a child and it doesn't know how to use it, it's going to use it in a way that is very potentially harmful. So
Yes.
even with the internet, social media, and everything, it's about the maturation, emotional
Yes.
maturation, and using the discernment. Like, for me, social media is purely for work. I don't
Yeah.
scroll. I
This
just
is,
post what I need to post, and I'm out of there. That's it.
yep, that's where I'm headed. That's my goals for this year is just to because I use my social media for posting and
Yeah.
but I want to use it for business. I want to use it for looking up, new information and research and those kinds of things. But
Connecting, and also connecting, because, like, just we were saying, just as I was saying with regards to my recent client and stuff, it also helps for this, like a deep soul, not validation is because we don't need validation, but it really is important sometimes, every now and again, to be in contact with someone who is on the same path, and
yes,
they see you and you see them, and it's like the confirmation that yes, you are, like, it's like the synchronicities and
yeah, the
serendipities.
resonance.
Yes, that just confirm to you that you are exactly where you're meant to be. And even though, yes, we can go about spirit and all that, but we are still human, and it's nice every now and again to get that validation. So that's what I mean. Like, like this internet, it allows us to connect with people from all over the world that are walking the same path, but they, they might never meet you in a real life, but we
Yep.
can meet this way in a
Yes.
Uranian way. And also with Uranus going into Gemini, more and more of us will become telepathic. So it's like for us now, we're using
Yeah.
astrology as a tool, but what we're really doing is channeling.
Yes.
Astrology is just something for brain to chew on. So we have some kind of logical explanation behind what we're saying. And it's going to be the same with the telepathy that internet, and disconnecting through internet, I feel is helping us to prepare the ground for the telepathic connection. And this is the in-between tool. So it's like now we have the reason, okay, we're communicating, there is a logical explanation, and then
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to slowly but smoothly, maybe not so slowly with Uranus in Gemini, shift us into telepathy.
Yes. Mac used to say this, that this was just the intermediary to teach our
Exactly.
brains that this is what's coming. That's so funny you say it.
Yeah, and even like the people who like work with extraterrestrials and stuff, they don't use bloody phones and
No,
internet and laptops,
no.
it's all telepathic, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Yes, we are in the in-between phase, but we need to learn to walk before we can run. Like
Yes.
again, they cannot give us all these like tools, or well, it's not like they cannot give us, we already have them within us, but not everything can get activated at the same time because we are still in the physical body, which is dense, and it would burn our sockets. Our nervous system would collapse. And for a lot of people, if they had sudden awakening, because for most people it's gradual, but people who experience sudden awakening, it caused a lot of neurological problems
Oh, for sure.
or psychological problems because the body cannot handle it. So that's
No.
why we have nodes moving into Virgo Pisces and Saturn, Neptune, Uranus. I mean, how often does it happen that Saturn, Uranus, Neptune are all moving in the same year? And Chiron, right?
I
That is not
know.
like common, right? But this dance between the feminine and masculine sign, these are our training wheels.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the
So
universe is moving us ahead at a slow but steady pace.
yes,
It's
and
rolling around. Um, and yeah, can't remember who I was listening to, but maybe it was Marissa. I can't remember, but this idea, if you look back at who you were at the beginning of the year,
mhm.
to
Yeah, it was.
realize how you're so different. And I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, yeah, I'm totally different.
Yeah, because we started the year with this new moon in Capricorn, but that was on 20 degrees, which is
Hmm.
the Virgo, right? That's the Virgo decan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
And
how
then we
far
did a
you've
bunch of
gone.
work.
And we had two full moons in Capricorn
Right.
in the summer. So,
Yep.
yeah. So, like, I mean, in this year alone, it's gone very quickly, but it feels like it encapsulated many years in one.
Yeah. I mean, and I would imagine that we can expect that for the future during this, Pluto transit through Aquarius. Things are going to ramp up.
Especially with Uranus in Gemini. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, this is a very, very pivotal time. Probably this is the most important year of your life, this 2025, the most important time of your life, because you're literally clearing the decks, you are clearing the slate of your life, all the karma, all the stuff is being released, is being written off, that's it. And you are deciding about the rest of your life, you literally decided about the rest of your life. So this is why it's so important to choose wisely where you navigate, where you focus your energy, how do you use your energy, even like really like becoming very anal with monitoring how you feel, like when you talk to someone, what are you talking about, how do you feel afterwards, do you feel good, do you feel drained, okay, when did the mood shift, what caused it, like literally become your own like a project,
Oh,
like really
wow.
become really
A
super
science
conscious.
experiment. It's an
Exactly,
experiment. Yeah.
exactly, because you are the creator, and all these things, they are all happening subconsciously, they are undetected. And then like you go through day and suddenly there was a shift, and suddenly your day kind of feels like very like, oh, I had a good mood in the morning, why do I not have a good mood? And it becomes so subtle you didn't even notice, and then you come to the end of the day and you feel absolutely drained and exhausted. You need to track back, when did it change and why,
And
and pay
why? Yeah.
attention, pay attention to your life, because majority of us are asleep behind the wheel.
Yep. That's
So
so funny because I just started picking up my journal this morning. I wrote like 4 pages in my journal, just because of the need to track what's going on.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
it's
pay
this is
attention.
very Virgo, right? And not everybody likes writing, maybe you can just leave yourself voice messages or something,
Yep, that's true.
because
That's true.
not everybody, because like I don't like writing, so that straight away would put me off. Like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't like it. But like I like leaving voice messages, and it helps me to see through my mind, even though I know that it's better written because you can rewrite it after yourself. But you find whatever works for you. But
Yes,
this is the most important time of your life,
yes,
because the 2026 is a the wheel is going to turn, and which way it's going to turn for you depends on what you're going to be doing in 2025,
yes.
or not even doing but being
Yep.
and experiencing.
I think turning inward is a very important thing to do. I know I've been ramping up my meditation. I'm thinking about doing another Vipassana meditation at some point this year, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, because that's like like Joe Dispenza teaches that the only time where you can reset is when you sleep and when you meditate.
And when you meditate,
Yeah,
yes.
so this is like where, like people get sick and tired hearing about meditation. And again, there is not just one way to meditate. This is
Right.
like where everybody gets put off. Like, I don't have time to sit in a cross-legged position for 20 minutes every day. Like, my life is busy. But it doesn't have to be that way. You just find a form that works for you. But
Yeah.
it's like, that whatever works for you that allows you to still your mind, like where things just go quiet. Um, yeah, so we can override the subconscious, because otherwise we are always in this doing the beta mode. And yeah, then we just go on autopilot most of the time. And this is really important, the master in your mind and master in your emotion. And then you master the matrix. That's it. And then, like going forward, and we already mentioned that multiple times, it will really not matter so much to you what the hell is going on out there. What is anybody else talking about you or thinking about you, or who can you go out there and control to feel powerful, and who needs to validate you? And none of that will matter, because you already will have all this stuff sorted out within you. So we can then connect with people from this different place, from this purer place, from this heart-centered place of what can we co-create together, because we no longer will need to attract all these people that needs to teach us a lesson or show us what is wounded within us, so we need to heal it. Because these are the current relationships, this is majority of the current relationship, this is exactly what they build upon. This people trigger us, or we project stuff onto each other so we can see it in a mirror, so we know what needs healing. But once the
Yes.
healing is done, well, healing, not healing of your I am, but healing of the program and the stuck emotions, then we will start creating a very different relational dynamics, which are not based on this karma shit, but they are future oriented. What can we co-create that is taking us beyond just me, beyond just you, and beyond the reality we are experiencing at the moment? This is Aquarian age. So
Yeah.
this is what we're building towards. And this 2025 is the year where the work has to be done, and most of it has to be done on an energetical, spiritual, and emotional level.
Yeah. Yeah. All
Yeah.
the levels. I
Yeah,
mean,
physical as well, of course, because the vessel needs to be healthy in order to hold the spirit, right? But it's not about moving mountains, it's about
no.
sitting still.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we're living in a very interesting times for sure.
Very interesting times and enjoyable. I mean, not that it isn't work. It's not, but it's not, it's a different kind of work, and I
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, like people like us, this is the first time in our lives where we really feel alive, and we feel that life has a purpose, a meaning.
Yeah.
Because until this point, well, I mean, until 2020 especially, it was just like, what's the point? Why am I here?
Yeah.
And now we know why we're here.
Right. Right. I was trying to look back and see what, well, in my research, I was noticing that there was one of the squares that took place. Oh, yeah. It was the Saturn Jupiter square
In 2020.
that started in 2020. I was like,
Mm.
oh, wow.
Yeah, and then we had the
For the
Saturn
most part.
Uranus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Saturn Uranus. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's perfect, you know.
Yeah. It is.
Everything is unfolding as a perfect divine orchestration of time sequences to
It
build
that
this pattern.
that is what it is. And I guess it's always been that way and it will be that way. I mean, it's just I I have called it without knowing what the detail was. I've always called it
Hmm.
everything is in divine order.
Hmm.
It just is.
So it's like, you know, like it's like we are learning now to consciously work with our higher self, with the spirit, rather than push against the flow, because eventually everything always works out for your highest good. And we already know it through how we feel, right? Like, why would I want to keep creating more of that which doesn't feel good? It doesn't make sense, right? That means that you are not in alignment, right? So that's what I mean, you know, like when we actually shift from this archaic, especially religious concepts that are making the god this punishing revengeful beast, right? In majority of them, but when you actually delete that program and decide that no, universe is love, it's
The
unconditional love, you are
loving
love,
God.
you came from love, you will return to love, all there is love, you know. Even though, yeah, the ego straight away jumps in, I can hear it already, like, what you're talking about, look at the state of the world, blah blah blah, these people are not love, they're evil, blah blah blah. Okay, you know, let's focus on this other program we wish to create. We already know that old program.
Yes.
So this new program, you know, like if you really believe that, then, you know, like this universe, this god, whatever you called it, it's not a revengeful god that is like, okay, I'm gonna put you through all this shit to not then give you nothing because I just want to laugh in your face. So we're going through all this stuff right now to get to the reality that is in alignment with the highest potentials of who we are, and allows us to experience reality that makes you feel blissed out most of the time, because that's your birthright, because you are love, right? So at the moment, we are trying to heal the program and the blockages, the things that are preventing us from getting there, which are based on the old program, the
Yes.
revenge, the, you know, the hate, the shame, especially
Yep.
the unworthiness, you
Self,
know,
yeah.
guilt,
Yes.
shame, and unworthiness. These are the top three, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
this is the part, this is the 2025, this is what needs to culminate, because these things are a complete frequency mismatch to this new program, to this
Yep.
Aquarian age, the heart centered consciousness, this unlimited, unconditional love that is available to all of us.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
It's
So
great.
exciting.
Yeah, you know, like to whichever extent we'll experience this manifested in this physical form, depends, but it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Coming.
You know, it's coming. You know, like by the time Pluto is in Pisces, there'll be no war on this planet.
Wouldn't
So,
that be wonderful?
well, because if you really think about it logically, all these new children that are born, they, most of them, will be neurodivergent. So they will not be programmable. They don't care. You know, they don't care about all these old stories. They don't see the point. Why should they go and kill someone just because they have a different opinion? They don't have the gene in them. You know, they
Yeah,
don't have the gene in them.
they
So by
don't.
the time these little babies that are born now will be 20 years old and Pluto moves into Pisces, and they'll be sent to war, they go, what war? What you mean? You know, and it's already very palpable with Pluto Sagittarius. You know,
Yes,
they
it
go
is.
like, what? I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care. So that's what I mean. So when this old energy is gone because it's got a expiry date based on the
Yes.
physical form, eventually there will be, this gene will not be replaced because it does not exist in these new kids. Pluto Capricorn, Pluto Aquarius, maybe there is an odd one, but that's it. So eventually, you know, literally with, like, I am sure before the end of this century there'll be no war on this planet, because there'll be no one to want it,
Yeah.
because if there is no desire for it, it
Yeah.
doesn't exist, right?
Well, I think by that point we'll all be co-creating the reality from our heart. I mean, we're in the process right now of letting go of the external control,
Hmm,
the external world telling us how to be and what to do and what to think, and oh yeah, you have to vote and all
who
of that.
cares? So yeah,
You
so
know,
this even Pluto in Pisces, I think the biggest change is happening now at Pluto is in Aquarius because we're breaking out of
you have to
old
break the
patterns.
pattern first.
Yeah, but yeah, the Pluto in Aries, that's a very different reality. I will not be here for that one, but I'll watch from up there.
I might not make it for Pluto and Pisces. Maybe I'll see the beginning.
No, you'll be good. You'll be here. But yeah, Pluto in Aries, that's a while to go. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter because the time doesn't matter, but we know it's here. The energy is already here. And this
Oh
is
yeah.
a very important moon for you to see it, the intention of what you want to see manifested, what you want to see come into form, because Capricorn gives form.
Yes, absolutely. Pay close attention and you'll do it through the heart, you know?
Yeah, the feelings. Yeah, exactly. Because even me, I am very not trained in that. I always try to rationalize everything, go into my head, and they say you have to quit that. You have to start feeling more than you're thinking.
Hmm. Yeah. Yes. Well, there we go.
Yeah, I feel complete.
Awesome.
Would you like to add anything further, Adrian?
Hmm. Oh, I think we hit it. No, I think we hit it. I think, yeah. Coming from the heart is the thing, and it's the biggest lesson for all of us. It's not something we've been trained to do. We're not conditioned to do that. So it's a very big learning curve that we will be learning as a society over the next 20 years, while Pluto runs its way through Aquarius.
Yeah.
And Mars in Leo is, the beginning of that. And we've been a little bit through Leo. We're going to go back into Cancer to align with our feelings, align with our inner self, and then it's going to turn back around and we get another journey through Leo when we get
Hmm.
to manifest that.
Yeah, end of April, May. Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. That will be right on time for my 40th birthday.
Yay. Ooh,
Yeah.
you're coming ever closer to that Uranus opposition.
Yeah, well, first I'm getting Pluto square. Let's not jump too far. Pluto square, Neptune square first, and the ascendant conjunction from Pluto and square to my sun. Let's just get through that first.
Yeah,
Then I'll be ready for Uranus opposition.
it'll be good. It'll be the spiritualizing moment. Not
Yeah,
that you don't need anymore.
there is always more,
I
Adrian.
mean,
There's
you're right.
always
There is
more.
always more. But I mean, you're already on your way.
Yeah, we all on our way. But yeah, it's just this open to receive and removing the obstacles.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it's all good. Cool. So we good? We maxed
we
out?
are.
All right.
Yes. I'm gonna take
Can
this
close the
chart down.
screen.
Hey, there you are.
All right, perfect. Adrian, I know that you got some offerings going on there, so share with us.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can reach me at jaskierenastrology.com. I have doing different varieties of readings. Reach out to me there. I also have a Facebook page, Jaskieren Astrology, um, where I'm posting moon reports, and also this recording will go on my YouTube channel, Jaskieren Astrology.
Cool.
You can find
Yeah,
me
and
there.
if anybody wants to find me, you can find me on moonlightsoul369.com, and that's where you find all the information. So thank you very much. Thank you, Adrian. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah.
And yeah, best wishes for 2025,
Yeah.
everyone. And for
Guess
you
we'll be
just,
seeing each other early next year.
yeah, Cancer full moon. Cancer full
Cancer
moon.
full moon.
That's it.
All right.
All right, then. Everyone enjoy the last few days of 2024. And yeah, we see you on the other side.
Mhm.
Bye.